Howdy. Welcome back to Dion Talk. Normally when I do my live streams, it's Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific. During those live streams, I will answer every question that comes, as long as the internet doesn't die like it did at Matt's house this week. I'm in Boston-ish, north of Boston, visiting the lumberjack landlord for a week. Today going to be taking a train ride, and I thought I'd do a bit of a rant, but I don't actually want to do a rant because I've done a few, and every now and then somebody says in the comments, about 90% of the people say, your rants are awesome, keep them coming, because it shows you the true visceral reaction to something that's bothering me, like when somebody does something stupid, like say, make sure you have your properties in an LLC for the asset protection and tax benefits, of which there are none. But the rant today is going to be on the housing crash, the Crash Bros, the YouTube channels that constantly put out every couple of days a video on why now it's different. Those scary words, this time it's different. That's why this crash is real. Year after year, week after week, month after month, the same video, new, little bit of data presented in a very bad fashion to make you think that a housing crash could happen. And I'll give you a couple examples of that too. And the reason I kind of want to do this as a rant is, here's the analogy that Michael Zuber from One Rental at a Time came up with. There are a lot of people that don't know reaching financial freedom is possible. And then they don't know the ways to do it. And once you're doing it, they don't know how to optimize it. So you have people like me at a sports stadium. I'm in the parking lot where everybody's having their tailgate parties, drinking, working with a plan of get good grades, get a good job, work for more than 40 years, more than 40 hours a week to retire on less than 40% of what you made. And it's my job to let people know that there's other ways to do this, that you don't have to work your entire life, that the average person can reach financial freedom in 10 years or less and make work completely optional, even if you're not starting from a good position. Then in the sports stadium, you have guys like Michael Zuber and Millennial Mike showing you all of the ways that you can reach financial freedom. Zuber actually has a book, 15 Conversations with Real Estate Millionaires, where he talks about conversations with 15 different people who reached millionaire status, reached financial freedom, all of them with different strategies and different starting points, and they did it. Millennial Mike lives in a high cost of living area, house hacks, but invests at a distance. And then on the stadium field, you have guys like the lumberjack landlord, that operator, the one that's teaching you how to optimize your systems, how to self-manage your rentals, how to self-manage your rehabs, how to grow a massive portfolio. So the thing I struggle with is I'm the one in the parking lot dealing with all of the misinformation where people like, and I don't want to call anybody out by name, but Saks Realty used to have great content. Real Estate Mindset used to have good content. Economic Ninja, never heard of him until recently. Reventure Consulting. Again, not to call anybody out by name. But here's the stupidity of the content that they put out, and my problem with the people who continuously watch them, because Saks Realty used to give great information, Real Estate Mindset used to have good information, and then one day they realized that the algorithm really likes fear porn, and that you might get 200 to 1,000 views on a video like this where I say, if you think there's a crash coming, it shouldn't matter. I don't get many views. But if I were to say there is a housing crash coming, let me give you a little bit of data out of context to make it seem like that could happen, I'd get tens of thousands of views. So they're very smart. So they made videos to get views. If you want to help yourself, you tell people what they want to hear. If you want to help people, you tell them the truth. So here's a couple of the things that I've heard presented out of context that can be used to say why there's a housing crash coming. You know, a decade now. We're coming up on 2012-13, prices started to go above where they were in 2008. People said stupid things like, this is unaffordable, this is unsustainable. So prices are so high it has to cause a crash. High prices aren't what caused the crash in 2008. 2014-15, we had the silver tsunami. All of the baby boomers are going to retire, so there's going to be a flood of inventory, which never happened. Then we had a bunch of demons walking by me. Hopefully they don't take my soul. Demons are scary. Around 2018, interest rates went above 6%. Again, this is unsustainable and unaffordable. So a housing crash has to happen. 2020, we had a pandemic. We had an eviction moratorium. We had all of these reasons why a housing crash has to come around the corner. Then in the last year, we've had interest rates double while prices are still going up. So this is unaffordable, and there's no way that people continue to do this. So a crash must be coming. And now you have the affordability index. People can't afford to buy or own their homes, so there must be a crash. Foreclosures are doubling. The number of foreclosures happening are doubling. So there must be a flood of inventory and a crash. All of these reasons why there's a crash coming. Out of context, we had a pandemic. Yes, people didn't have to pay their rent. $46 billion in the CARES Act was set aside for rent relief, and only $3 billion of that was tapped during 2020. People could go on forbearance, so there wasn't a massive flood of people losing their homes. Then we have foreclosures. They're doubling in count. Here's a professional term for you. No screaming eagle dookie. When you have a year where you're not allowed to do any foreclosures, and everybody has to be offered forbearance, and it ticks up a little bit, that means it's gonna double. It could go up 1,000% and we still wouldn't be where we were in 2019, 2018 for average number of foreclosures. On the affordability, okay, this is where this gets ridiculous. They'd look at the average or the median, whichever one matters to you, income in an area, and they say the average or the median home price in the area, whichever one matters to you. The average person can't buy a house. Well, no kidding. You mean for the first time in a half a century that I've been here, remote work is possible at a larger scale than any point in time because of the pandemic? And now people work from home more often? And while, yes, it seems like there's a lot of layoffs because the tech industries that own the social media platforms that you get your news on have some layoffs going, the entire tech industry could lay off 100% of their people, and that's 12% of the workforce. It's not a large enough number to make a difference. So, with remote working happening right now, no one has an idea what the affordability index is. Hang on. Oh, happy birthday. This segue brought to you by Happy People. That's beautiful. That's why I'm out here. I want to spend time with people having fun, not people making crash videos and how doom and gloom gets a lot of attention, and people think that there's a housing crash coming so that you should wait to buy. Now I want you to think, if in 2020 when all of these crash bros that of course I didn't call out by name, one of them actually has a course called the Housing Crash Course. Imagine somebody making money off of selling fear and getting people to wait to buy. So in 2020, when home prices were continuing to go up, we had the pandemic, the eviction moratorium, the craziness and chaos that was going. Had I listened to these crash bros and waited for a crash, in January of 2020, I wouldn't have bought a fourplex that I house hacked and added $25 a month to my cash flow. In November of 2020, I wouldn't have emptied out my retirement account and purchased a triplex that is now averaging over $1,000 a unit. In 2021, I wouldn't have purchased another duplex. About a month ago, I wouldn't have purchased my next duplex, which is my first rehab, self-funded third house hack. I would have lost out on millions of dollars of net worth if I fell for the fear porn. So my fear, sitting here in the parking lot of the sports stadium or the train station with the birthday party going on, and they're going to wonder why some of their cake is missing in a minute because they're not watching it. My concern is that people are watching a lot of fear porn because the algorithm force feeds it to you. I don't watch fear porn videos, but I get a lot of them in my feed because I talk about real estate, investing, financial freedom, and it gets lumped together with the fear porn videos. So there's a lot of people who watch those because they are looking for a reason to justify them not taking any action. So let me explain something when it comes to anybody, any random guy on YouTube. Thank you, Jospri. Never trust or listen to a random guy on YouTube if they are telling you, here's the reasons why you better hurry and buy a property. Or if they are telling you, here's the reasons why you should wait to buy a property. Because there are two things that tell you when to buy. Those two things are not the market, interest rates, recession, bear, bull, rents, prices. None of that tells you when to buy real estate. The two things that tell you when. Hopefully that's not the train I'm supposed to be on. Okay, I got 2 minutes to wrap this up. So, thank you, random person walking by telling me I'm stupid. The first one is, are you ready? That has nothing to do with the market. And it doesn't mean you have the money for down payment, closing costs, immediate repairs, and reserves. That's a factor that we should all be aware of. It means, is there nothing major going on in your life, like a divorce, a death, a birth, a loss of job against your will, all of those kind of things. And the second thing is, did you find a great deal? A great deal. Meaning, you're hunting every day until you find it. That might be tomorrow, it might be in 5 years. Because you don't want to miss the train like I'm about to. Thank you for hanging out with me on this random Thursday live stream. I hope you guys have a week full of awesome. I will see you Sunday because I think I'm gonna ninja my way into Lumberjack Landlord's live stream. Have a week full of awesome.